Hello and welcome to my website. This is Anja speaking, your guide for today. I'm really glad you stumbled upon my website. I have no idea how you got here, and I mean, does it really matter? So, this is my website. I guess what I'm doing is I'm offering to guide you towards yourself, which is so generic, I know. But just imagine, living a life where you're not living with someone else's expectations. You're not trying to push life. When every breath is just filled. Oh my God, it's just you. I mean, what is you? Who are you? Who am I? Well, look, I don't know, okay? These are all the questions that like philosopher asks and stuff, and I am not one. Although I do think in that way, I guess. I like asking questions that don't really have answers. And then seeing what kind of answers people come up with. But what I guess it could help you do is help you like gear you towards that path. That path that doesn't make you want to fucking die. The path that just makes you want to keep fucking walking, right? I mean, this is just a story time thing, right? So when I was 25, I got to a place in life where I realized how many experiences I've collected through the years, how lucky I was to have people around me that I had, but how much I just hated my life. I hated my life. I was lying to everybody around me. I was lying to people I truly cared and loved about, and loved. I was lying to myself. I want to hurt the most. And I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard to fit in. Just to fit into the perfect normality, to perfected normality, to be the best at being normal, in every way. Intellectually, physically, mentally, I don't know, spiritually, maybe. No matter what guidance I read somewhere, no matter what horoscope I pulled out, it just ended up all being bullshit because I was adapting it to my internal plan of perfecting this normality, perfecting this sheep that was just following the rules of society she was living in. And I kind of made a decision that I am killing myself, that I'm killing everything that I consider myself at the time. I could feel this huge cloud around me of all the things I built for myself, of everything I called myself, of the product that I created and called Anja. And as I was seeing all these things, I realized that somebody was watching it. Who was watching it? I've always been an observer of everything that was happening, and always felt like I just needed to fit in and shut that bitch up and never bring her up. I killed her. I buried her. Oh my God. So deep. threatened her. If she ever wanted to come back, if she ever even opened her eyes, I would threaten her. There's no fucking place for you here. We just need to follow these and these and these expectations and get to the fucking winning place. We just need to win. We just need to be the best. Does not matter how much it hurt. We just need to be the fucking best. And then I was like, well, I'm kind of done, right? I'm fucking tired. I'm not doing this anymore. And maybe a week later, I watched a YouTube video where this girl who had a channel with astrology, mostly astrology, the topic was astrology in her channel, but there was this one video where she talked about human design system, and I immediately, I was just hooked. I just loved it. I ended up downloading everything I could find. You know, I pirated everything I could find online. Started reading every book, listening to every audio, writing down notes, experimenting. It was incredible couple of months where I didn't really do much else but work part-time and experiment. You know, it was just, I was in a lab and I was a test buddy and I was a scientist as well. And it was fucking magical. It literally felt like I was in a video game and I was watching my hands move. I just completely stopped with control. It's like completely no control. No control. I watch what my body does. I watch the way my limbs move. I watch and listen to what I say. I don't control a single thing. You know, doing the opposite of what I did before. Because now the threat was, if you go back, there's nothing there. I killed off my life. I moved to a different country. I started a new life. Completely different from the other one. It's like I was reborn again. I got my first reading 6 months into finding human design system. I started an educational program, and then I decided it was not for me. That I needed to fucking go out and experience it in the world. So I went and traveled. I stayed in 5 different communities or community-like spaces. And just experimented with random strangers. Just trying to see if the knowledge was true without being able to really look at charts, to really listen to a lot of recordings, but just experience life in the most raw way possible. And then I came back. It was Corona time. Came back to the structured world after being in the third world country. That was the last destination. And I came back to Europe, where everything stopped. And I had no idea how to function. And it was, again, this whole rebirth thing, but it was accompanied with a lot of shame of me not knowing how to, because of me not knowing how to function anymore. I adapted so deeply to every situation that I was a part of, everything that was so new and different, abroad, in a different country, in a different continent, with different rules and ways of living and behaviors and thought processes, and just everything was different. And I come back to home, to Europe, to my home country of Slovenia, and I don't know how to function. I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't know how to cook, how to clean myself, how to clean the space. Pardon me. I took my breath away. And eventually, I moved back to the place where I moved to the first time when I first disappeared from Slovenia. And I started a new life again. This time it was even blanker. This time I couldn't have this threat with me, oh, if you go back, you'll die. This time it was like, well, you learn how to live. Because I forgot what I was like before. There was so much information in my head that I could not rely on any of it. So I just kept on going, I kept on figuring things out, I kept adapting, I kept listening to people, kept seeing people, kept hating human design system, coming back to it, throwing it the fuck away, falling in love with it, fuck around with it, just, like doing everything you could and could think of, until I came back to it and truly just embrace it. Not just as an educational tool, not just as a bag of information, but truly embodied it. Truly let myself feel my body. And remember what it feels like to be so deeply in love with who I am. And I am here now. And I'm excited to help navigate rebirths with anyone who's interested. So if you're here and you're still listening, thank you. And if you're here and you're interested to work with me, contact me. I'm waiting for you. Can't wait to meet you. I love you already. Let's die and get born together.